Oh, we live. Yep, it went right to it. Perfect.
Well, fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Every time. Every time.
What?
We had this conversation every time about cursing in the beginning of the live.
Oh, I blame Johnny.
I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, you on my cord, my boy.
Oh shit. There you go.
Set a timer for it to come on automatically.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, nah,
sometimes
we can't do
we be
that.
running late.
Yeah, we can't do that. We just set
But the
up
people
these-
understand.
Yeah, they should have just pop on and we in here bullshit.
Right. What's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
How the weekend been?
Oh, it's been alright. It's been alright.
I can't complain.
Yeah, same old for me. What y'all boys been getting into?
I don't know. I feel like the nigga right beside me lost the shot on a fight last night. What was up with that?
Oh.
What was up with that? Free shot? I ain't mad at it. I think it was a crown shot at that.
Oh no, I think it was the setup. It's how you came at me.
Huh?
It's how you came, you led with the guy you really wanted,
Uh-huh.
and then I switched. You caught me off guard.
And just being Johnny. So we bet a shot on the Logan Nate fight last night. And yeah, I don't know, Johnny. I don't really trust his
Logan got whooped.
Nah, Logan
won?
whooped Nate ass.
He whooped Nate ass.
Damn.
Yeah, he whooped his ass.
Whooped Nate ass.
Nate who?
Nate Diaz,
He's a
UFC.
oh okay. But they was boxing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what I was thinking. What I was thinking after, because he's a fighter, supposedly. Like he's a fighter, and he looked terrible out there.
When you lose and you got to start thinking about it later, that's tough. Go ahead. Keep going.
But no, I was just saying, like, I think the boys being good. I think they be working together. Like, I don't think they really dislike each other. I think it's just.
Oh yeah, not for sure. That
You talking about like selling the fight?
that part
Yeah.
is for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because, like, if you really didn't like this guy, you would have trained way better. Like, you wouldn't have showed up looking like that if you really wanted to whoop his ass. He was just in it for the money. Like, he clearly could tell. In my opinion.
I don't really like the entertainment boxing.
Yeah.
I don't really like that too. That's not my preference for sure. I don't really care to keep up with them bums.
We also had another good discussion at the bar.
Okay.
Them boys was, you think honey barbecue is a basic flavor?
Oh
Yes.
shit, that was a great fucking discussion actually. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it
yeah.
is. It's one of those just it's
What about teriyaki?
teriyaki is a little outside of that, like that.
Man, that man don't know.
So I'm guessing that you were on the losing side of the argument.
No,
and
I wasn't
just-
that one. Like, teriyaki is way more basic than honey barbecue.
No, it's not.
But yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's not. No, nobody agreed with that.
And this
And
nigga literally
the truth
said
would
he
be
won.
that.
And he said he won.
Yeah. And nobody agreed with it. Even a lady at the bar said, "Nah, they're both basic." The white guy over to the side said, "Nah, they both basic." Like everybody we asked, they all said it was both basic. Him and Keith was arguing about which one was more basic.
No, y'all started out.
Oh, Keith probably know best. You know he goddamn chicken
Young
tender
basic
eating.
bull. He just-
He done had all of the
Keith
sauces
called
on the
my
tenders.
flavor basic, and he had teriyaki. I was like,
No, I don't think Keith might have had 4 sauces in his life probably. Keith eat basic. That nigga eat basic.
Mm.
And they had a sweet barbecue and a honey barbecue.
Man, why don't you just give it up? You don't see
Right.
that? You
Barbecue
lost,
it.
man. This man's persistent.
Persistent.
He's a pretty persistent guy. I like it.
I couldn't believe it.
Man, any events we want to target this week? What happened this week?
Well, what happened this week?
I see the boy. The Lizzo joint. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I did hear about
I
the
don't
Lizzo.
know what's going on there.
That's rough.
Why you say it's rough?
That's rough. Just the amount of like how far some people go with power is what I'm saying. Like people just do too much. It was like they had them walking for a slice of cheesecake or something. Just like
They
the
said
news.
that? I didn't even see that.
Lizzo.
Yeah, I see. It may be. I mean, it may not be true. I don't really care enough to like go and investigate whether it's facts or not. Fuck them. I don't care nothing about that shit.
Hey Ty, get on the mic.
They said Lizzo made people.
I ain't heard that, but I heard that she
No,
was.
I think
I
that
heard
was a
that she
meme.
did have her dancers eating bananas
Bananas, I
out
heard
of
about that.
girls' pussies and
I heard about that too.
like.
When it comes to the cheesecake thing, I don't know if you ever watched Making
wow.
a Band when Diddy
Yeah.
had them go
Yeah.
walk to get a cheesecake. I think that was just a play on that.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
don't think Lizzo actually did that.
So was she telling them that they couldn't actually gain any more weight? Was that something
I
else that
don't
was
know.
fake? Oh, that was something
See,
else.
I heard about the fat shaming, and then when I looked into it, it was nothing about like it just looked like regular abuse.
Nah, I heard.
It looked like real
Man
abuse.
said regular abuse.
Nah, the irony of one of the biggest victims in our society today, like one
No
of the
pun
main
intended.
people. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. No pun intended.
Tone wilding. Go ahead, keep going. More. Give us another pun.
But hey, she one of the biggest victims in our society today, and she is mistreating her employees. That's
No, it's very much so. You know what it remind me of is Ellen.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what I was thinking about when you just said it. The one I just said it.
Ellen's an abuser.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ellen got
yeah,
the same allegations.
She be turned the fuck up too.
Be turned though.
Yeah.
Ellen?
Yeah.
You didn't hear about that? That was probably about a year, 2 years ago.
Man, I ain't damn
Yeah.
Ellen.
But never mind. I was gonna make bad jokes.
I mean, I feel like they were saying that's why she canceled it. I don't think that it was like they canceled it, but that's why she stepped down from it.
Ellen, yeah,
Yeah.
because she kept getting really bad accusations pushed towards her about just how she mistreats all of her employees and people under. And I guess one piece to this that I'd always say is that pay attention to people when they're in power because that's their true self, not what facade they put out for the internets or for TV or programming. When a person actually has some leverage, that's who they really, really is.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's something that you can learn to control over time. But I can't really say that that's who you really are. I can't really agree that that's who you really are. Because the thing is that if you've never had power and then you get it, a lot of people will OD on it. But
You get
then
to
after
do what
you've
you
had
really
it
want to do.
But once you've actually had it for a while, it's no longer like a big deal to you. Most of the time, I would assume that you should come, humanize yourself at some point to where it's like no longer a big deal, and you know what I mean.
I haven't
It's
seen
like
that happen
A rush.
from,
You get a rush from having it, and then it should come down.
I don't know if that ever happening. I guess you'll have to give me examples whether we go from dictators to whoever your famous corrupted person is that treats people like shit. They do it for extended periods of time. We can run down the names of different people, but I don't really know a lot of people that have been accused or that were known for doing it and then they backed off of it. Like certain people, you don't really hear much salt on them. You don't hear much about Kevin Hart and him being power hungry ever at all, or Nick Cannon, or like people that are genuinely decent people. But it's not if we just using an exaggerated form of R. Kelly never stopped being power hungry. That power just stayed from all the way up until that was a piece of his character. I don't know.
No, I can see what you're saying. I was thinking I wouldn't even really think because I don't know enough about the famous people to say whether they do or not. I was thinking more a more regular people lens. But I see what you're saying. Where you hear about the same. Matter of fact, I heard
What about managers?
That nigga Steve Harvey cursing a nigga out about a cookie the other day. That joke was
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
they said Steve be crazy too. It be certain
Somebody
niggas.
took that last cookie. He was hot.
They say the real sauce, his wife took it.
Oh yeah.
I think standing there being quiet.
Yeah, I think, and she would have been the only one that would have done it too. Ain't nobody else playing with that man like that. Your old lady would take it though, and then just it'll be.
And I
you
guess-
wear it.
And let somebody else wear it.
The most common one would probably be managers. Do dickhead managers eventually over time stop being dickhead managers? Or they just still be annoying as fuck and dickheads?
I won't be around long enough to find out, but I see your
All
point.
the ones I know, they usually stay
I see your
dickheads.
point. I see your point. Yeah, I see your point.
Ooh, we got some good stuff in the Instagram today.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it. We ain't got to go rock, paper, shoot, scissors. I see a couple of things in here with Johnny that I definitely want to click on.
Hey, I want to make sure we get to that the one that I put in there about with the interview of Umar. It was
Okay.
an interview with Umar that he said some things that I think that it would be worth conversing about.
Oh yeah. I just want to start here. My boy.
Alliance. Shoot to kill. Hamaza. Kill the poor. The farmer. Kill the poor. The farmer. Brr, pa. Pa. Brr, pa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a few different things happen. What I see this here too. Oh yeah, same video, I guess.
Hey, more power to them people, man.
Alliance. Shoot to kill. Hamaza. Kill the poor. The farmer.
Yeah, I don't got nothing to say about that one. I think you can turn that one off. Was there anything, or you just thought it was funny?
No, this.
You want to explain the background on that?
Well, it's the land reclamation in Africa, so it's they kicking, them people off their land. They just taking their land back.
Oh, that's what they're actively doing right now?
Yeah, nationalizing like a lot of the mine companies and stuff. It's like a movement in Africa.
Got you.
That's going on. They try to, undo some of the colonization.
Now, from what I know, doesn't this have something to do with America?
No, not that I know of.
No, I'm not talking about that at all. But I watched a beating recently. I forget what country, bro. Was speaking. It was an African country, and he was speaking. He was talking about how everybody, all of the different nations, where the presidents from all the different nations or countries were there, and they were pretty much trying to hold Western society accountable for making a lot of false, or not pulling through on their end of the negotiations, saying that we was going to deliver a certain amount of money, and to help and aid in different things, and that they weren't seeing the money, and it was like time to what he said. He said it's time for the rubber to meet the road or something like that. He used one eye. Jones.
So he said this was like Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, but what they doing in Africa is China investing heavy over there, and like they didn't say fuck. They said, "Fuck us, we don't need you."
Yeah, because I think what they was trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, they were saying like the way the U.S. was trying to do it, they were trying to like implement like LGBT rights and laws and stuff over there, and pretty much you would pretty much implement these laws, and we would give you the funding. Versus what China was doing, they was like, okay, well we want help with the military, so they're actually helping with their creating the military and all of that, instead of like trying to get all of this other,
Well, yeah, no, they help like China put like military bases and stuff, and they give them the money without like forcing them to like change their culture.
Their culture, yeah.
Where America be like, look, y'all doing all this stuff, we don't necessarily. That's not the way we do it. So if y'all want to get the money, y'all gotta change the way y'all living, and they got tired of that, and then they found another. And for a long time, we was the only option. But now they got that other option. It's like,
Yeah, what's happening with Putin?
And they say the same thing with Putin too. That's
Yeah.
the same thing. They were saying, they had conversations, and
well, Putin and China, they
together too. Yeah, that's
Matter
the
of
whole
fact,
BRICS joint too.
You got it here. President Vladimir Putin has forgiven $23 billion in debt owed by African countries. He also forgave $684 million to Somalia 3 days ago.
That's the same. That's
But
the
it's
same.
3 days ago, like 5 days ago.
I think China, they call it the Belt and Road Initiative, but they've been investing all over, and Russia kind of doing the same thing. They
It's
trying to get to
it's dark. I could see it getting possibly being pretty dark around these parts at some
I
point.
don't know what that means.
That we could see a level of, let's say, dysfunction that we haven't seen previously
In America?
in American history. Yes, especially with them backing their currencies up with the natural resources, and pretty much
You talking about
our money-
dysfunction on American soil?
Yes, on American soil. I'm talking about. I ain't talking about them coming over here and blowing us up. Well, I'm talking about dysfunction just within
Like-
our society,
Like the
Just,
economy collapsing? Is that what you mean?
or the
Well,
degradation of the culture and society.
Exactly. I ain't necessarily going with the whole one extreme. What I'm saying is that it'll be something that we haven't seen before. I don't know. I can't predict how bad it'll be, but I know that it'll be something like we've never seen before. As far as you got the interest rates being like they are, then our credit score, or from my understanding, our credit score went down as a country.
It just dropped.
It just dropped for the first time. So then we got interest rates going up. Then we got AI coming. It's gonna be crazy to see the next decade how things progress.
It's funny how the same week they was talking in Congress about them UFOs. They put out, oh yeah, by the way,
The credit score. Yeah,
y'all,
bro.
y'all got we got a 680 now. He was like, hey, we got a 680, but UFOs. Like,
But that's not crazy. We talked about this previously. They do that every single time.
So anytime I see them talking about like UFO or something stupid on kind, I start looking. I be like, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
what else done happened?
A lot of the
this week?
times, if you just read the little subtitle, or not the subtitle, but the ticker at the bottom, they'll be talking about the bullshit, but they have to like tell it to you down here. And that's where you'll see it. Just read. Don't even pay attention to what they talking about. Just read the ticker the whole time, and that's where you'll find out.
Hell yeah.
Quint over there silent, but we will go to the next topic.
I wasn't silent. I mean, y'all was engaging inside what y'all was engaging. I could add more to it if y'all want. But
Nah, let's go
yeah,
to
I
the
mean, it
next
seemed like
topic,
y'all
though.
kind of was hitting the points that needed to be.
Oh, I didn't say that. He said.
No,
Oh, yeah,
He was
no.
over there zoned out like.
Oh no, I was just listening. Like the conversation was good. Something that I've told and talked to Newton about a lot is like bringing more of like this geopolitical conversation. And you're like the one question I had when you said it was getting dark, I'd like for you to like dive in a little bit
Elaborate.
deeper. But outside of that, yeah, the conversation was good enough that it didn't need my. I ain't feel it needed my interruption. They was getting in the weeds at a good little area.
Okay, real quick on this one. Yeah, should a world champion boxer have a fat girlfriend? Mother Taryn Crawford's 6 children. Alindra Pearson received no mercy after stepping into the public limelight.
Look. Hold on. I think that. Hold on. Did y'all hear about Clarissa Shields and Keith Thurman?
Yeah.
Clarissa Shields challenged Keith Thurman to a boxing match at 154.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Boy, don't need to do that.
No, he said that like he'll accept the fight, but like he'll just use his jab, and it's more for like a charity thing. So like he'll wear bigger gloves, and she can wear like a head thing. He was like, because I'm not really into punching a girl. That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
But if it come down to her beating his ass,
She gonna be swinging.
No, because that's
She
the
gonna be
thing.
swinging.
She gonna be
She gonna
going
be
for
swinging.
blood. Like
Yeah.
that's just what it is. She
Don't
gonna be
do
trying
that.
to, and she got paused.
Bro, it's a lose-lose. If you
It's
win,
that's what I said. It's a
if you win,
lose-lose.
you lose. If you lose, you lose.
It's a lose-lose. I would not sign up for that. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no
What
sense.
if he went in there
But
slipper?
see, that's an L too. That's an L too. You gonna
How?
lose either way,
How?
bro. You look at how he did her. You already know that's gonna be the.
which way he lose it worse? If he gets slept or if he sleep?
Hey, if he gets slept, then that's just
That's even worse.
he might as well just.
But what if
go.
he sleeper though? Like
Then I wouldn't sign up to be a part of it. On national television, sitting there boxing that woman, I wouldn't. But like I say, she got paused, so like you can't. I'm not saying that to take anything away from her. She's definitely the best female boxer I've ever seen. I think she's the best in history. I think she's historical good. You know what I mean? Boxer. And her stance looked like she finna put paws on you. Then she went to the UFC and put paws on that girl.
oh, she fought UFC.
Yeah, she went to UFC and put paws on that white girl.
Oh damn, I ain't
Real
know she fought
pause.
Like UFC.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this shit would be
Oh yeah.
interesting.
I only went to this one under Johnny's because of one reason.
And you said that, my bad. I mean,
yeah.
you say it one more time.
Basically Terrence Crawford's his baby mama, the woman that he got 6 kids by, she stepped into public light and people being given backlash, like talking about should a world champion boxer have a fat girlfriend?
Bruh, people don't shut up.
And that be my whole thing. People always chiming in some. I don't know why. Like I ain't gonna even go to no specifics on who I'm talking about specifically. But I don't know why people feel like they have to determine what somebody or even in general. A lot of women tend to feel that men should choose a certain one, like according to their parameters. Like we're supposed to choose according to their parameters. We have a whole different set of parameters. I don't know why the world don't understand it. Yeah. Like that woman hold him down. That's what he chose.
And I'm pretty sure they got 6 kids together. I'm pretty sure she been holding them down.
Holding
for
them down for a long
Good
time.
woman probably. Got
Yeah,
to
she's
be.
probably a good woman. Yeah.
But like my thing is, people act like their opinion is worth way more than it actually do.
But
Like they think just because I think this.
It's
you
not
have to
even that.
act
They
way.
think men are more superficial than we
And,
are.
and that's what I was going to say, too. I think that what we're missing, and a lot of the time I think what's being missed is that men care more about a good woman than all of these asset things.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
And-
far
and
as staying
you
in a
can,
relationship, like
looking at Instagram can get you carried away and stuff, thinking that is what is like the most valuable. But that's why you'll see a guy like Terrence Crawford, multimillionaire, and his whatever this beauty standard is that you're thinking, He's not necessarily what we're looking for, and I think that we kind of been saying that like it's even like the manosphere thing.
I would rapper no.
Oh, I thought that was.
Oh
my
no,
phone.
awesome.
Yeah, I think we've been kind of saying that over and over and over, like the artificial, the BBs, whatever that BBLs.
Mm-hmm. What you talking about, like the butt?
The butts.
Yeah, it's BBL.
Okay, yeah.
I ain't know which way you wanted
You
to go.
you could have put a W at the
Yeah, I
end.
ain't know which way you wanted to go.
BBLW.
Or BBW and
Yeah, that's
two
a whole different
things.
lane.
Okay, well, I'm just talking about the butts.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I think that but that still to build on what you were saying, I think that's also why it's important for us to have and speak those conversations, because of what is flooded mostly, and especially inside male talking spaces, ends up being a lot of these things that don't speak to like having a quality woman. It does end up being like what is your rating? Is she a 5? It ends up being like a lot of these different little things that the reality is that when we look around, and what everybody's really choosing for is not just this specific beauty standard of somebody being a 9 and then like you know what I mean, not really caring too much about anything else. And yeah, speaking directly to that, obviously it's 6 kids, which means they've probably been together since early 20s. He's 35. Like that's a family, and likely like this is what a real woman that has had 6 kids looks like. That she probably hasn't had like the little cosmetic surgery afterward, the kind quote unquote snap back and shit like that. That's what a real 36-year-old woman looks like and is supposed to look like.
And then her stepping out for the first time just now is actually something to think about too.
I don't know if that's true though. Like I think that this is like the
I'm
biggest
just basing it
profile
on what
that.
was
I think
said.
Yeah,
it's
he
him.
just-
I think
yeah, he got a
it's
big
him
profile,
coming
yeah.
into a bigger like.
Yeah, so more people are just seeing.
Oh,
him.
okay. I see. Yeah. After that fight, that makes sense.
One more out of Johnny's real quick, because this just looks spooky.
Fucking creepy as hell.
What is it? No, this.
I'm just gonna click on the video.
I was a rapper known as Jay the Youngin. My hit songs 23 Island Animation and more. I was 24 years old on July 27, 2022 through Wednesday evenings. Me and my pops was sitting in the front yard of the house in Bogalusa. When a black truck pulled up and 3 people hopped out with guns, we tried running inside the house, but 2 more people with guns came from the side of the house. We were ambushed, and then shots rang out. My daddy shot back in self-defense for both of us. But I was hit at least 8 times, and my pops was shot twice too. I was taken to the hospital where I died from my injuries.
That's
Melvin
crazy.
Noble Jr., but you may know me as Mo 3 from
Yeah.
Dallas, Texas. You know, I was 28 at the time of death. Yeah, I was rising in the rap game, but it would start falling down. In December 2019, I was shot in the back of the head, but survived. Almost a year later, Wednesday, November 11th, 2020, I was leaving a friend's crib, but I noticed some people in the car following me, so I hit the dash and hopped on the interstate. Trying to protect myself, I stopped the car to try to get my gun, but I couldn't get it out in time, so I ran south on the highway. I was chased and shot multiple times. The police came and tried to revive me, but I died of my wounds at the scene at 11:55 a.m.
My name's Davon Bennett, but folks call me King Von V-Roy for grandson. I was an up-and-coming rapper from Chicago to November 6, 2020. A week after my album, Welcome to a Block, came out, is in Atlanta hosting an album release party. A little after 2 in the morning that Friday, there was an altercation between me and my crew and some other people escalated to a gunfire outside the club. I was shot 5 times. I was rushed to a nearby hospital where I died during surgery, and I was 26 years old. 3 people, including me, died that night, and another 6 were injured.
My name is Kirsten Carball. You're known in the music industry by my stage name Takeoff, and the youngest member of the Migos group at the age of 28 at around 2:30 a.m. November 1st, 2022. I was fatally shot at a bowling alley in Houston. While leaving the party, people began firing shots. I was shot once in the head and torso. I was pronounced dead on the spot. One thing I want people to remember is you got to stay on your P's and Q's. When you're popping so hard, you got these blessings coming down. You got the devil trying to get at you.
Dang. Yo, that was.
That shit's sad because it's a lot of niggas out here that's been, you know,
Yeah, it's a lot of different rappers.
Sometimes you forget. You know, you hear a song, and like I was listening to a Nipsey song, and they had Young Dolph on it. I was like, God damn.
Both of them.
Like they both gone. And so it's just, we gotta just, shit crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of spooky. I did notice like the audio, like they pulling audio from somewhere.
Yeah, when I heard it in the headphones, it sounded different than when I heard it on my phone.
Mm-hmm. You can hear where it's like it's pulling audio from different sources and like putting words together that they said.
Yeah, shit.
Like that one with Takeoff actually sounded like something Takeoff would really say though. Like at the end of like with the message at the end, like you really popping out here. Like, like yeah.
The first two sounded better than the last two though.
Yeah, I agree. That was spooky either way. All right, let's see what Q got. What you see?
What do you want me to go to?
That was funny though.
What is it? Oh,
Combination.
Combination. Well, I was like the fact they used Drake. When I called her, I said, yeah, that is pretty funny.
Hey, hit the sound.
Combination. 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 Combination.
Yeah, Drake's so annoying with like his fake little whatchamacallit. Hey, refresh it real quick.
Talk about which one?
Yeah, just refresh the whole page.
The page?
Yeah, the IG, John.
Combination.
I say go start with the 19 Keys one. I think I might have liked that one.
Oh, that's 19 Keys.
They woman to remain weak and dumb. You understand me? Because they afraid that if I teach her what I know, she may surpass me. She may feel like she don't need me. But see, a man that is constantly growing is not afraid of teaching his woman everything that he knows. Because he's going to constantly learn and learn more. Right. And then at some point in time, if not when she comes into the relationship, then she's going to be teaching you things. She's going to be adding things. Yo, babe, you said you wanted to do this. Boom. Got the paperwork done. Called up so-and-so. Now y'all building. Yeah. Nowadays, people want to have separation of dreams. No, you got to bring it together under one team. The problem with a lot of weak men is they want their woman to remain weak and dumb. You understand me? Because they afraid that if I teach her what I know, she may surpass me. She may feel like she don't need me. But see, a man that is constantly growing is not afraid of teaching his woman everything that he knows. Because he's going to constantly learn and learn more. Right. And then at some point in time, if not when she comes into the relationship, then she's going to be teaching you things. She's going to be adding things. Yo, babe, you said you wanted to do this. Boom. Got the paperwork done. Called up so-and-so. Now y'all building. Yeah. Nowadays, people want to have separation of dreams. No, you got to bring it together under one team.
Yeah, commentary.
No, I just think you just gotta, always be learning. That's like the key to life, especially in today's world, because it changes so fast. You know, like the stuff you learned 5-10 years ago.
Talking to Mike.
Ain't necessarily, as applicable in today's times. And just like computers, how they update and, technology always move fast. You gotta always be on it.
Yeah, I feel like the important part was like I understand what you're saying, but the situation he's talking about within the relationship with you and your old lady building each other. So I mean that's something that's powerful. Just in it, like not to take it anywhere else, to stay right there and that right there. That's very, very powerful. You know what I mean? Like
you wild boy. Wild boy. So I think this reminded me. I was watching something where I don't know if y'all know PBD Pat. What is his name? Pat David, something like that. But he's a multimillionaire, XYZ. His wife was on a panel, and it was kind of like it was just like an open conversation that was happening, and she was speaking on how with her, she equated it to code, and learning languages, where she was saying how like if he's reading a book, she's gonna get that book and she's gonna read it too. And pretty much everybody inside all their friend circles, they end up like they're all reading the same books. They're all learning the same things, having like conversations about these different progressive topics over and over. And if she was to just like not continue on that progression or like, stay abreast, she would eventually not be able to communicate, or she wouldn't be able to translate, or like she was saying in code, like she wouldn't be able to speak that new syntax language or whatever that's happening. I thought that was really really good. And this was like, I don't think she specifically works. Like she kind of like might run and do like a couple different things for his business when it's needed. But like even as like a woman that doesn't have like a need to have to actually do it, she found the value in making sure that they continue to grow and she continued to learn with him. And I thought that was fire.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Just do those next two up on the top row. That last one probably get it turned up, but I was looking at this and I think this is fire.
All right, we can't see all that.
Tone, I guess, would you be able to pause it each time and just
it does pause. Okay. So this one says passive aggressive behavior, indirectly expressing anger by frustration.
Could you start it over to add context? I'm sure you don't know.
I'm lost too. So, the 4 communication habits that kill relationships: stonewalling, shutting down and refusing to engage in conversation by becoming unresponsive. Passive-aggressive behavior, indirectly expressing anger or frustration by being passive, silent treatment, avoidance, and aggressive. Sarcasm, subtle insults, backhanded compliments. Defensiveness, deflecting responsibility, denying wrongdoing, or shifting blame onto others when confronted with feedback or criticism. Invalidating, dismissing or minimizing someone's feelings, experiences, or opinions, and making them feel unheard or unimportant.
They call that gaslighting.
I was gonna say, that sounds like gaslighting.
But yeah, no. So I guess I think a good question to throw out would be: are any of these things that you find yourself not just exercising when you're not doing the best at communicating?
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. Specifically, I'm the type of person like people, and I've heard this, like you shut down. Mm-hmm. You shut down, and I want to give an excuse or like try to give my idea of reason why. But the thing is that I'm not a person that can be forced to speak at a given time. Like I like to. Yeah, so I'm just if I'm mad, it's crazy. Okay, this is my interpretation of it, right? So it's like I am going to give my excuse. That's what I mean. I am going to give my excuse. So in my mind, I think that they say like, if you don't have anything good to say or productive to contribute at that time, then don't say nothing. So in my mind, only thing I'm gonna do is probably make this worse. If I start talking to you right now, and it's really at the level of emotion. When a level of emotion has been starting to be, you know what I mean? Once you're presenting this certain level of emotion, I'm definitely likely just to let it rock, and then we can possibly come back and talk about it. But I ain't got nothing to say. I just honestly, I'm the dude. Like I know, like my pops bail. I just walk out, hop in the whip, spin some tires. You know what I mean? And come back when I'm cool.
I was about to say this. I don't think that's an unhealthy thing to do.
Yeah, I think that you kind of like.
But that's what he's talking about.
But you're saying you check out and then you come back and had a conversation later when you done cooled down. That's
possibly had a conversation. They don't necessarily mean that we're gonna have a conversation.
You know, sometimes though you might. I like even with what you were just saying right there. Sometimes you might doggone feel like you need to say something, then you find out, no, I really didn't need to say that.
Yeah, like, oftentimes when you say
I think that's a healthy habit of communication. Like,
I think there's a balance.
Like removing yourself.
I think that's what it is. It's maybe not. I'm not doing it in the most productive way because I understand what you're saying. There's a balance. There's a way in which you could, by literally doing that, you can make the person feel unheard and all that stuff. And you know what I mean?
Well, it can
what they feel is not important.
Right. I think that, like, for example, I think the first two kind of like went close a little bit. Well, depending. Like, so stonewalling, where it wouldn't be, all right, we're arguing, I'm going to remove myself, and then I'm going to come back later, and maybe tonight we'll talk about it, or we'll address it tomorrow. Like, that's not stonewalling. That would be walking around in the house and not speaking to each other for a couple days because of, like, you might feel some kind of way or something like that. That's closer to Stonewall, and the number 2 one was something that was close to that, silent treatment. That's what, like, those two kind of go hand in hand a little bit. But then you like passive aggressive, sarcasm, those different little things. Those be a little bit more into some of the techniques I imagine we all might, or some of us might exercise at different points in time. Like if I say me, I'm probably like a stonewalling person, where like I can, like if I don't have like something to say, sometimes I might take, and it could be like a day or two, in which I'm kind of like just removing and withdrawing. And I know that's not like super healthy or nothing like that.
I'm just walking around. I'm just walking around the person.
Yes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like nothing benefits that until like you actually break that down and have like a real conversation. But like for me, that'll probably be like that's the one that I would say for me. So yeah.
You know, I think there's a balance because, like you say, removing like in the moment, removing yourself. It sounds like, yeah, this is smart, but like you say, it can lead, like you say, because you can just remove yourself from the moment and never come back and, you know, address it again. And it's just, you just had that moment, and then nobody said nothing, and then it's just awkward.
So which ones do you exercise, Johnny? That you're trying to get better at?
Stonewalling for sure. That's the one. I've said that before. I don't think I'm too passive aggressive for the most part. I try not to gaslight. I can, but you know, I don't necessarily think I'm a gaslighter. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I've been guilty. I've been told I did all of them Jones.
Okay.
I've been told I've done all of them Jones.
Do you feel as though that you do all of those?
I believe that at a time period, I probably have done all of them.
Okay.
Possibly, you know what I mean? I wouldn't put it past me.
Is it something that you're intentional about making sure you don't do?
No, for sure. As a mature man, like, yeah. And it, I think that there's like that's a different conversation. But I definitely am much more intentional just about everything. I try to be as intentional as possible about everything. Much more now than, you know, in my more younger years.
Tone?
I would definitely say I can be passive aggressive. Yeah, I work on that constantly. I am aware of it. It'd be like when I'm doing it, I don't realize it necessarily, but once I think about it, I eventually come around and realize,
like, I
could have handled that better.
I feel you.
Yeah, I can be passive aggressive, and then I can be defensive also, not to the extreme that he wrote it like that it's written here though. I don't like.
Yeah.
Like I tend to blame myself for everything, but I can be defensive about like if I know something. Like I can be defensive about something I know it's not my fault. Like I don't like people blaming something on me that I know ain't my fault. So I'm gonna sit there and go in on it, but it's not necessary all the time. Like there's no need defending it. Just slap on the wrist.
Now we heard you curse Jeremy out.
Nah,
when he said it was your fault.
No, he was calling. Nah, damn it! He was calling me a thief. That was different. He was calling me a thief. That was different.
Okay. Hey, could you go to that last one?
Oh yeah.
And as this plays, I don't even think I've watched this whole thing.
Over what's clearly a misinterpretation.
I don't know why I feel
people
like
whose
she's
culture they pimp and profit from.
Yeah, let's refresh that.
I like. What's her name?
Goddess Ayana.
Jamie Foxx. Over what's clearly a misinterpretation. Although black people whose culture they pimp and profit from understood what Jamie was saying. I just wonder if they're willing to cancel Jamie Foxx over a misinterpretation, lack of understanding black colloquialisms, if you will, which again they pimp and profit from. Do they think that funding mass slavery in America 3Ks is also a reason to be canceled?
If you're not familiar with I guess what recently
the Jews are wanting to cancel Jamie Foxx over what's clearly a misinterpretation.
Okay,
yeah, it's Logan. Jamie Foxx recently said they killed Jesus will make you think they won't kill you or something like that. It was something basic along those lines.
He said they.
Yeah, but again, like I feel like I never associated that with like anything hurricane related. But somehow they done got him apologizing on the internets now because he made that statement.
So who did kill Jesus?
It wasn't them.
Well, I don't know.
They wasn't
But-
them back then.
But in general, like that statement is just talking about like Jesus died. So Jesus died. What makes you think that they won't, come for you as well? And yeah, they
Like, did he use a specific word, or did he say
I'm gonna
they?
just go.
They didn't
look it
understand black colloquialisms.
I didn't even know that was a black. I just thought that was like a saying that people be saying.
I guess, yeah.
But
So we can't say that.
That's
either?
crazy though. But the thing is, if he was saying that, they didn't do it. They wasn't them back then.
here it goes. He said they killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you? Fake friends, fake love. That was the whole post right there.
Now we know in the
I
Bible.
don't see how you can get anything anti-Semitic out of it.
That's what. That's why I'm lost.
Well, technically, Jesus was killed by his own people.
Right, I understand.
So,
that.
like, it wasn't everybody who killed him. It was literally like in the Bible, the story.
But what was Jesus?
He was Hebrew, Jewish, or a Jew, not Jewish. He was a Jew.
I think we're gonna go. I think that we're gonna go a little deeper than. Obviously, they're not. So, are they interpreting it as that he's saying that the Jewish people will kill you?
Yeah, the hurricane.
That's how they. Yeah.
Oh, that's why you said hurricanes.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying that. But yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I understand how did they even, you know what I mean? How did they get to where they are?
Because I think maybe they've been accused of being the people that have killed Jesus. So like right now they're inside that high time of anything that could be thought of as anti-Semitic, we jumping down your throat.
Okay, I ain't gonna get our podcast flag, but just so we know, y'all heard what Tone said, right?
What? I don't know what Tone said. What did he say?
They wasn't them back then.
All right, that's only okay. That's all right.
I imagine to them they were them then.
No, they
know.
They know.
Okay.
They know for
Are
sure.
y'all saying that
sure.
from like you know exactly like the belief system of what Jewish people believe? Because I imagine that it can only be a 1-to-1 correlation to that.
Bro,
Why they
what
would be
I'm
upset
saying,
at
what I'm
that?
saying is
like
they
whether
know.
it's true or not, it's like a different conversation.
We gonna go different videos. Ain't trying to get in trouble. But
Let's go to that Dr. Umar joint that I put through in there. That Dr. Umar joint.
Let's see, where is that at?
I want to make sure we get it in.
We'll try to get up out
where is it at? I'm trying to see which one it was. Was it this one? Cruise Season? I'm just assuming. Was it this one?
No.
Okay, I gotta see.
It ain't that one either. I know who that is.
Okay.
Umar? Yeah, there you go.
She met men. She probably
Oh,
thought
yeah,
they
he
was
was on
good.
Daily
Some
Wrap
of them,
Up.
they left her.
She knew they wasn't good.
You don't know that, bro.
She knew they wasn't good.
You're
bro.
making
You know what I'm saying?
assumptions about her.
If you look at the numbers, black men marry black women at an 87% rate, where black women marry outside of their race, or they marry outside at a 92%.
Black women do not. No, you're wrong.
That's percentages of
You're wrong.
That's not that much.
Black women do not marry out the race more than black men.
I'm
That's
not
wrong.
saying that. But the percentages
Black
ain't that
women,
far off. That's what I'm
black
saying.
women have one of the highest, fastest growing interracial marriage rates. But her interracial marriage rate pales in comparison to what black men have been doing interracially for 4 or 5 decades.
Black fathers are in the home more than any other group or race.
But what
that has no value?
It does have value, but we're going to put that up against the other statistic. 2/3 of our kids are being raised by the women. 2/3 of our kids are being raised by the women. And like I said, when I say being raised, I'm not saying it needs to be a father. I would like a father in that house, but I know it's not enough of us to go around.
Yeah.
We are not even being accountable to the boys in the hood. And we're complaining about the women.
I argue with women
who are making babies with the irresponsible men that we didn't raise correctly. That's bullshit.
All right.
That's wimp-ass, weak man shit. Take responsibility for our shit. Stop scapegoating them.
Yeah, I could agree to that.
All I'm saying is look at all we could be doing better, man. Half the black boys in the 4th grade can't read. What black men doing about that systemically? Black boys are the most unemployed teenager in America. What black men doing about that? Pookie and Ray you kept talking about? We letting them raise right before our eyes, and then we want to criticize her for ending up with one when we should have made sure there were none.
Listen, we all got choices. Just like if I choose to live a lifestyle,
You're dealing with individualism again. I can't
that's
deal with
part
that.
of choices.
No, it's not. We have to deal with this systemically. Here's systemic factors at play. You totally divorce your analysis from any systemic factors at all. You ain't mentioned one. You keep talking about her and Pookie and Ray Ray with the kids. You ain't said shit about the systemics. That's exactly what white folks want you to do. That's what white folks want you to do.
I'm saying that
Ignore
I have made
what I've done to your women and scapegoat her. I don't mind us holding the women accountable. I don't mind us holding the men accountable.
Right?
Yeah. But when we going to hold the system accountable as well.
That's fair.
And if we're going to hold the system accountable, that also means we got to make our own systems too. Black men have not been manly in quite some time when it comes to raising boys. How would you want the women back? Take care of these damn boys. They run in the hood, killing people at will, flunking out of school, following the lead of the gangster rappers. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can do that ain't got nothing to do with the women, boys and men. Do you understand? Deal with the boys and the men. Leave her out of it and go straight to the boys.
All right, pause. Oh, that was it anyway. Okay. How did y'all feel about that? Well, let's go with Newton. I kind of feel like when I heard this, I thought of like it kept making me think of you about the entire time.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Oh no, I think he's absolutely right. Like you say, it's a lot of complaining. You know, a lot of people do a lot of complaining and about the outcomes that we have, but not necessarily looking at the parts, you know, and the role that you play. Like I even said last week, the role that you play in that system. If we're gonna blame the system ain't nothing but, you know, it's comprised of us. You know, it's like a team, and you gotta understand, how did I play a part in that system, so you can understand what you can do different to, you know, not create that outcome. So yeah, I think he's right. I agree.
I thought it was like super. I thought it was dope because that's the reason what made me kind of gravitate to it was that I would not gravitate to it to actually pause and listen to it and listen to that whole clip was the fact that we're hearing a lot here lately about men saying that it's her fault because she knew he wasn't ish when she got with him. You know what I mean? But you had a baby with him anyway. And I've heard that that's something that's been literally I've heard that very, very much here recently. And for him to, and I feel like it's I always, I talk about look, if we're going to talk about men, let's talk about men and not kind of, it's because of women this and do that back and forth because we both are effed up for real. But the way that he kind of said, and it's another thing I talk about is the level of selfishness within the society. Everybody's about me and mine's gonna be okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Just me and mine. I ain't worried about you know what I mean? Them kids and them. I'm just worried about mine. I'm just me and mine. And so we're just so selfish. And like he said, that's exactly what they want us to do.
No.
That's exactly what they want us to do.
Yeah, he was pointing out. He was spot on.
Murdered. I feel like he murdered that.
Quick. I guess I'll read one comment from the shout out to Jeff. Jeff's in it, and I think this comes from when we was talking communication. He said, even in the moment, you should still tell your partner how you feel in that moment, so that they understand how you feel in that moment. Again, I think that goes back to the conversation we was talking about communication styles and walking away or stonewall and XYZ.
Yeah.
But all right, to stay where we're at. I've watched that full interview, and I thought, in general, the back and forth of it was fairly good. That was chopped to pretty much all of Umar's points, but I agree. I think that we tend to. I think that a piece of the male conversation that I think has kind of got weird is we tend to do the exact thing that we complained about feminists doing. Where it's scapegoating the opposite sex, and then just boom, boom. Where there's one, I think that there's a systemic factor, even though I don't want to dive in as deep as Umar went with the systemic. But then there's a part that we all are going to play in it, and he made some really, really valid points when it came down to where are these kids coming from? Who's raising these kids?
Yeah.
These Pookie Ray Rays, they had to come from somewhere, right?
And we literally watched Pookie and Ray Ray, and that was what killed me. I literally, looking at these guys.
You watch
and then
them
Yeah.
these are going
And
to
then
be the
what did
guys
you
that my daughter is going to have to pool of guys to possibly be with.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting here just watching them.
And just complain and just being like, well, like you said, you got to pick better, or just playing it like again, just the whole blame game. And yeah, I think that quicker we can get out of like the blame game and just figure out solutions. I think that's probably the best. I don't want this to get like how black people got with civil rights and like we just got really good at diagnosing shit and not actually having solutions. But
Yeah, I think, and then another thing too is that like we're gonna have to figure out where there's a value, a contribution to our community that is valuable outside of monetary value. Because the thing
Say
is,
that one more time.
we have to find value in a contribution that is outside of monetary. And I'm saying that because when I sitting there thinking about how you coaching.
Okay.
That is a contribution that is outside of monetary value. We don't have enough of that. Enough of the men stepping up and doing. And I'm talking myself included. I was out there with you trying to assistant coach, and I was actually able to see a chink in my armor. Just I'm talking about having kids. Like I don't really know how to deal with kids. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, instead of me facing that and kind of running into it, I just decided like this may not be for me. You know what I mean? And so the thing is that we're gonna have to, if we're going to try to get something to change for the generations that come after us, if we see what our relationships are like, we see what our communication is like amongst each other. If we're actually going to try to make some kind of change, it ain't gonna come paying for it. It ain't gonna come with money. You can't pay for this shit.
You got to change the value system.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we're for sale, and you can't change it with more money. That's not gonna do it.
There was one point that he had made on there. He was talking about like one of the guys tried to make like an individualism type point, and Omar said something about it. I think that's one of the big keys right there. It's like we got so many people in our community, even the ones who don't have kids. We have to understand that we're still responsible for what's happening. Like one of my philosophies in life is if you look at everything as your fault, then you're able to change. Like you have the ability to change it when it's your fault. So like on a societal standard, we don't tend to do that as like as on a group standard as black men in general, just the whole group. We don't tend to do that. We've been there's been a whole lot of talk in like over the past few years, especially where it's what the women are doing.
But what role do you play?
What role do you play in all of that stuff?
No, wait, I was adding on to what you were saying. Let's talk about women, but what role as men do we play?
Exactly.
Inside that, yeah.
But
and what that comes down to though is like it's the men who have to change the thing. If we focus on what we can do, that's gonna ultimately evoke the change. The same way, like if we was to look at how women got to where they are at now, like as far as like the music, and we look at the rap culture, you can see a direct link between how that was men that led things to that.
And then another thing to it is there's a lot of men that are literally writing those lyrics that these women are saying. They're literally writing. That's why it sounds so aggressive and so masculine because bruh's writing it.
Yeah. But no, what you were saying,
Marty Fontaine.
What is your contribution to our culture? You sitting here writing this because you just, it's about $1. We definitely for sale, and it's gonna be to the detriment. It's gonna be to the detriment.
But for sure. And like you say, come down to like what Tone was talking about. Come down to community, and like you have to be a part of it. You know, you can't just sit on the sidelines in a community. Like you actually gotta like go out, participate. You know, it's just bigger than like you and your family. You gotta do, what you gotta do for your family. But then families participate in communities.
It should pour out. It should pour outward.
And so you got to, actively go out, touch earth.
You also have to look at how you as an individual are influencing the people around you, because we all influence. Like whoever we hang around, we're influenced by naturally. Sure. It's like even just within this circle right here, I definitely get influence from being in this circle that helps push me to a further point. Just because it's a group of positive men, like across the board, like Jeff, Keith, everybody who I've met being within this circle, all positive, all good-minded men that have different traits that are really like top quality that you can pick up something from. Like I think that's very important in noticing those qualities in yourself, like actually working those qualities out within yourself and being better, because like people don't realize that on an individual basis.
I'll say for everybody, we appreciate, and for the whole group of homies we got, we definitely appreciate that. But back to what Umar was saying, is we have to push that into the little boys.
Mm-hmm.
So this collective that we have, there's something that we have to do to some kind of outreach, something that we have to do to be able to influence these boys to see that it doesn't take, you don't have to go these routes to get to obtain this thing. Whatever this thing may be, you don't have to go the route that they are pushing in your face all the time. They're literally pushing, that's all you're seeing is that route. And so like there's a level of stability and sustainability that comes from doing it the way that we've decided to do it as well. And so we need to be in front of them. Like I think Barry's band camp, was that Sugg said that
they started.
They just started this week, right? That was this week. You know what I mean? Just pulling up and I think that's going to be something that we're going to have to.
Yeah, I think
we're going to have to show ourselves outside of just our family structures.
Yeah, and I think that's what I advocate for everybody, every man, especially, you know what I mean, if you got a head on your shoulder to do, is find a avenue in which to be able to, you know, connect with youth. Whatever that way could be. It could be, it's a litany of different ways to do it, but find a way, even if that's like 5 or 6 or 7 or 10, 20, 30, who knows how many kids this might be. But yeah, just find a way to actually really connect with kids outside of something that you have to do.
I got 2 more before we get out of here. I definitely want to show y'all. So.
I don't know what you are talking about. 杨老师，我这个应该读得非常好吧？
讀得唔錯，但我覺得咧都係有少少老土。嗱，我知道你明年要去美國讀書啊。嗱，美國的小朋友呢，絕對不會這麼說的，他們會這樣說 ：I don't know what you're talking about, fool。
哇，好像黑人耶。
是吧？嗱，我現在教你一個方法，學完之後呢，嗱，你明年去美國就不會那麼容易被人家欺負了吧？嗱，首先這3個詞你剛剛怎麼讀的
？I don't know。
老外不會這麼說的，他們會把這3個詞變成一個。I don't know，
I don't know， 直接就縮短了。
老外懶嘛，對不對？還有這個 what you are 3個詞變成一個 watcha， 簡不簡單？那再來，你看這個詞怎麼讀的
？Talking，
直接把它變成 talking。對了，這個詞呢
？About，
把這個 a 不要，變成
about。
對了，說一次
about。I don't know what you're talking about。
那如果今天你這個對象哈是一個傻子，我建議你後面呢加一個 FOOL。對，所以整句話就是 I don't know what you're talking about, fool。
I don't know what you're talking about, fool。杨老師
When you throw the fool, it takes it to like black exploitation.
明年的，明天就美國了。
It was pretty much there already, but it's still.
I don't know what you're talking about, fool。
We don't run fool no more, but that's good. They teaching Ebonics over there.
They teaching Ebonics, bro.
That's fucking Sue Young right there.
Right.
I don't know what you talking about, fool.
Oh,
yeah, that's funny.
I know. Hey, you love him right there, Jesse Peterson, don't you?
Stop. Don't play
I know you love, bro.
Oh no, I actually like Jesse.
No, I know. I'm talking about Newton
he's hilarious.
Specifically.
I mean, I can't.
You
specifically. I know he loves Jesse Peterson.
Not at all.
I go to Jesse if we got time, but I want to show this
Jesse,
one first.
what's his catchpage? Damn, I can't remember it. Not great.
He be saying some funny shit.
Oh no, he's hilarious.
I ended with him.
But it'd be like you heard the Dr. Umar and his back and forth.
I probably watched like 100 of his interviews. Like I watch his interviews in long form because he's hilarious, and he sticks like. But he's also he's hilarious. He also has like he's a good litmus test for somebody to bounce their ideas, and you have to be really strong minded to get through a good interview with him. Because he has a clear agenda, and he turns conversations and loads questions inside really interesting ways that it's a bunch of traps that he sets. And if you're not smart enough, like it's easy to fall into a bunch of those traps.
Well, I guess I'm going to play the video since we talked about it.
I don't like
You're
him,
a pastor, right?
but he is funny.
And you're a radio host?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, and you
Amazing.
said you
That's his
believe
word.
white
Amazing.
people should have more children?
We definitely need white babies. And I tremble at the idea that white babies, that the white group is going
He
down
also started
in
White
numbers.
History Month, too.
Because if you lose white folks, America, it's over for America. Because if you notice, white people tend to be more innovative. They're more creative. They have ideas about things.
This
All these
nigga
other
here.
races don't do nothing but destroy. They don't build, they destroy.
You're a pastor, right?
This
Yes.
nigga here.
And you're a
bro.
radio host?
Yes.
I love Jesse boy. That's my boy right
I
there.
don't love him, dog. I don't love him at
I'm
all.
saying, like,
Oh, man, I love that nigga, bro.
Is he legit?
I'm saying love him
serious?
sound like a
dead
very.
ass. Bro, he be dead.
Oh no,
serious,
Jesse,
bro.
he is the real Uncle Ruckus. Like
in
everything
real
that
life.
Uncle Ruckus kind of would be. Like he said, he just started White History Month, and he said it's in July because don't it just feel white.
Nah, bro, be on some crazy shit.
Hey, the trip part is the comments though. It's black people in here. I'm black, but here's the truth. Like honest man. As a Hispanic man, I agree 100%. The white race has made America what it is. No other race has contributed more.
Yeah, he
but he don't be like he's not troll like.
he doesn't
dead
troll.
serious,
Nah,
bro.
he's
He dead serious, bro.
he used to be a liberal, like maybe like
genius if he
early
was trolling.
like 80s
No, for sure.
or whatever.
For sure.
But he made that transition somewhere around like
He was
the early
definitely
1990s.
Charleston white. He Charleston might
And
have
he's been
learned
that
from
for
bro.
forever.
Like he might come out one day and be like, I got you. I was just.
Nah, he be dead serious. I'm gonna tell you the.
No, he done ran it. He's did this for about 30 years.
Bruh, it's
Since like early 90s.
It's one of the alphabets that, bruh, he had an interview with one of them, bro. That joke was hilarious.
Oh, you're
bro.
not. But he'll
done had
ask
like
all
two
the
or
questions.
three of them that with them. That's hilarious.
He'll
bro.
ask all the questions. The first time he got on my radar was the Amber Rose interview. When the hoe and hoe maker, that
I
whole
ain't see
thing,
that.
and I
I
was
know
like,
he
holy
fed her, bro.
I was like, holy
No, he
shit.
did.
This guy
Bro,
is hilarious.
that
And then I
guy
had to
hilarious,
just start doing a deep dive of all of his content, and what he says is egregious and it's wild, and most of it is like crazy, but it's hilarious. Like to me, it's like watching Uncle Ruckus live
in real life.
But I guess where we're at, I just want to see. Did y'all know that according to Florida and what they're teaching now, that
blacks benefited from slavery?
Yeah, like
is that part? What you
it was like slavery had to be pretty fire. Like the way because they said that like we like learned some skills that we never would have ever got before.
Like being a blacksmith.
Like we never could have like built things in Africa
It's
and
no
learned how to
history of that,
meld,
right? Like-
weld, and like do any of those things.
There's no
Like,
evidence that we was
They
doing
had to
stuff
beat
before
that
they
shit
came
into
along.
us, and we should be blessed and happy that
the white man
beat that shit in us.
and allowed
Yeah.
us to learn these traits and skills.
And we was better off for it.
But why you say
We'd have
black-
never known how to
why
do
you
it.
say
Bro, I wish we
blacksmith,
had the
though?
little button thing. We need an Uncle Ruckus button.
Right.
I don't even know what a blacksmith is.
Right.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got this one. This one I wanted to go.
Implant a microchip into your hand if you would receive $2,000.
Nope.
Yeah.
Plant a microchip into your hand if you would receive $2,000 a month in return for getting a chip put in your hand. You heard me right. We'll give you universal basic income, basically. 2,000 euros, $2,000 a month if you allow us to put a
they gonna
microchip
circle
in
the
your
UPI
hand.
with it?
That's exactly what's about to happen as part of the rollout of the central bank digital currencies. That's a carrot for them to rope you into this mess. We'll get to that part of the story in a minute. The chip implantation process, not the corn chip, as Dan said in our chat, but a actual metallic tracking chip. But a new report just published this week by the Bank for International Settlements explains how our new digital money system is about to work. We've been warning you that this was coming for a long time on this show. Also, we weren't the only ones predicting this. It was predicted in a little book, you might have heard of it, called The Bible, The Mark of the Beast. For one thing, this is how this new system would operate. According to them, the Bank for International Settlements, the new reserve currency, forget the dollar as you know it, basically. This will be the new reserve currency, which is how they want to label it and how they are labeling it. This would be used to settle all transactions. As everyone moves away from the US dollar right now, this seems like perfect timing to be moving to this new system. So are they purposefully torpedoing the US dollar in preparation for a global new reserve currency? One might wonder, right? We don't believe in conspiracy theories around here, but you have to wonder. It could include the confiscation of all property, physical property. Here's a question. Would you let someone implant a mic?
Yeah. What y'all think of that?
What are y'all
like nobody want to say anything. Like,
all right, what are y'all thinking? I'm gonna read this comment. This is from Sharon Young, my mama. She said, "I think that male and females need to be able to want to help in the community and want to be a part of the change. We need more male and female role models."
Agreed.
Facts.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Mom Dukes.
It's on everybody. It ain't just, one,
Yeah. All right, so Johnny, you getting chipped up or what?
Nah. Hell no.
You getting chipped up, bro?
Nah.
$2,000 a month.
Hell
Two
nah.
bands.
That's
Yeah.
cool. No, I'm good.
I guess I'll let y'all go.
I'm gonna get a little fishing pole and just give me a little cabin somewhere and I'll be straight. I ain't finna be in that shit. Cause that's just the beginning. Cause once they chip you, then they can track you. You're in the surveillance age. It's over with.
Oh, they already tracking. They can track you with the Wi-Fi. But
But you can't turn that chip in your hand off.
You can't turn that chip in your hand
You can't turn that off.
I don't think that they're ever are going to actually implant like said chip. If anything, they're going to sell you technology and make you think that like what you're getting is within the freedom of yourself. I think that
they're already doing it in China, right?
I would like to see pull up the what them chipping people in China and show me exactly what they're doing. I know that China has like in a crazy surveillance state, and they pretty much track every single person, but it's not done by chip. But I guess I always kind of like the chip conversation just because of I've had it and I've heard so many people have this conversation since 2011, 2012, and kind of use the exact same conversation. The mark of the beast. They're gonna chip you. It's coming. It's about to change the global economy and blah 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 blah. I've heard it literally, the exact same conversation since 2011. I kind of just get turned off on
He doesn't
it.
need ID, and he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chip, so I use it to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but this
Let's buy
is
some
like
snacks.
something different.
So I can't open it.
You were saying that China
So what
was
I need to do is,
chipping people and pretty much making people. I'm
That's
not
why
saying that
They've
chipping.
already been doing this. This is already.
All right, so maybe let me make sure
y'all
I'm
are
saying
saying two
it
different
clear.
things.
I'm not saying that chipping is not a possibility. They can't implant chips in people. They definitely can do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think that it's going to be a mass thing that's going to happen, primarily because of this has been such a conversation point for a lot of people that are anti-government, anti-establishmentarian. This is I would be really, really shocked to see that actually happen. To me, I think maybe Absol said it best, where he said that we were so worried about them chipping us, they fucked around and sold it to us in our phone. And that's literally they don't got to chip us because the chip's right here and they got all our information and they listen to everything you say and shit. Again, if you're talking Wi-Fi, they can literally have a blueprint of whatever room you're in based off of Wi-Fi signals. They don't really need a chip. But I think that if what chipping would be Neuralink, where Elon Musk will sell you the idea of brain function, being able to boost your brain function, in which that ends up being quote unquote the chip, and that's what I was saying.
I literally think this is just like even the chip and the thing that came before it that I'm not going to talk about. I think a lot of this is tests to go towards something else. But at the end of the day, everybody has to make the choice on whether they would do it or not. That's what it comes down to. Because I think it's not more so about they're going to make anybody do anything. It's just going to be so many benefits to doing it that people are going to choose to do it for themselves. They're going to sell it to you. Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of stuff is about choice.
I done said that a few times just in this show.
Yeah, I just don't think that it'll come inside the literal form of them putting the chip in, just because it's that statement.
I will say
things
this, though,
been
just off the statement
so
you just said, 20 years ago, people wouldn't have thought DoorDash would be a thing. As far as just
but what I'm saying is
20
20 years ago, they were still talking about chipping. I think that them literally putting a chip in the hand, like whether they do it somewhere else, I just don't think the action of like literally chipping the hand is going to be a thing because of, like I said, like even if you go back to what's the wild white dude that like did the went into whatever his name is. He's like one of those big we'll say conspiracy theorist guy. Like since like almost mid 90s, he's been talking towards this. Like I said, early 2000s, I got put on a little bit inside like the 2010-11 range. Like the chipping part, I think that they'll be more clever in how they do it. Do I think that there'll be like a digital form? And you see this inside like a lot of the Black Mirror episodes, and they forecast out. Well, like they fuck around and be a contact lens or something like that, or the fuck around like again like what Elon is trying to sell as Neuralink per se.
What I'll say is I think we're years out from a few things, but what we're seeing right now is the foundations being set for that to be the thing. That's what I'm saying. So like even with like the Fed now being created and them trying to switch over, they're trying to switch over the currency. I don't know if y'all paying attention to that, but gradually they're trying to switch it over. They're already aware that people are not just going to all agree to do it at first. So it has to be a way that you force people into doing, or you influence them into doing it.
Well, what it's gonna be is like it started with like social media and our data, and they taking that and they gonna centralize all of that power to where like the social media, the banking, like everything's gonna be done within like, and that's why Elon Musk is trying to take Twitter and go to X. He's trying to copy like WeChat in China, to where everything is done on this one app, and if all of society uses it, it means you can't necessarily function without it. If everybody banks through WeChat or X, then if you want to be part of the community, part of the country,
You're gonna have to like unpack that a little bit further for me at some point in time. What Elon is trying to, are you saying like with the name change that he said that he did with X, and he's now trying to get financial institutions to invest and be a part of X?
No, he's trying like
what
the,
you said.
like
Because I'd imagine
no,
like
the services,
Facebook would
like
be
the
like
services, like the banking running through X.
Right.
All of your
So that's what I'm asking you. So is he brokering deals with banks to kind of do that? Because to me the closest thing would be I forget what Facebook evolved their name into, but Meta. Yeah, Meta. Like they have, and like them adding the Threads piece kind of like makes the full ecosystem. But Facebook has already toyed with the idea of like making their own like digital currency and cryptocurrency.
Right.
But they have the full ecosystem in which like it's there. Where X, I don't know. I just think.
But that's his goal, and I think he's going to. I mean, he's kind of spelled it out where he's trying to make it an all-in-one like app to where everything is run through it, and that's basically like the same thing as a chip. Because if you put all your data into one centralized place,
I think Meta gonna beat him to it.
It
got Instagram.
That's debatable.
Instagram's the one.
That's debatable. I mean, yeah. And you probably. I mean, yeah. That's.
It could go either way.
Either way, but that's
what's going on with the
goal.
metaverse right now? Speaking of,
That's
is that
the
even
goal.
still like people? I haven't heard. It's kind of
they've diverged investment from the metaverse, and I think I was recently looking at some shit dealing with this. But damn, AI is kind of like the main push right now. Mm-hmm. It was two things that they've kind of like taken 2 steps back from. It was like the metaverse and building out that. Like they're still doing research and development with it, but they're not putting the same amount of money. Same thing with the augmented reality headwear shit. That was a big push, but like I think they're supposed to be dropping their first little thing, and I'm talking about Apple right now, I guess. But all of them kind of like they work coincidingly. But they're starting to take a step back away from like some of the research and development with that, even before like the whole little piece has dropped. Because of AI, it kind of seems like that's almost like the main thing that everybody's starting to put their research in.
And I think people have a lack of interest in people aren't as interested in VR. I think is like.
Oh no, that new shit that Apple is about to come out with is gonna be the thing. I don't know if you've seen it.
It's too expensive though. That's the thing.
And that's
it costs the same amount. Like if you get a new MacBook, the people that buy MacBook Pros will buy that because of that. That's the same price point. A MacBook Pro is like $3,500. If you get it out the store, that's $3,500.
You're right. You're right.
But they also doing like the full ecosystem with it that I think Mac lovers are gonna fuck with. Where like in essence, like right now with the iPad, my Mac, my phone, and that, it's an ecosystem to where I can pretty much like line it up, and that it's some kind of car thing where you can just pretty much run the same file all the way down it. With the VR set, it's going to be where you can literally just kind of grab the screen, put it right here, grab that other screen, put it right there, and you can manipulate it that way.
So you grabbing one? You sold?
I'm not getting one.
Oh,
like I'll get one later on. Like I'm not a first adapter of technology.
Yeah, that's why I want to see. I want to see. I just want to see what it does to the first iteration of motherfuckers that go. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not usually like a first adopter. I'm gonna probably wait for like second, third generation.
No,
work the kinks out.
I just want to know how many pinky toes gonna get fucked up when they had that.
Hey, I know I done
Pinky
seen the
toes gonna be
videos
messed up all
of.
around
I guess
the
they be
world.
having some kind of some scary monster shit be going on in them headsets. Right, I saw this black woman on the it's like the joint that you can run on. Mm-hmm. Whatever she saw, I don't know what it was.
Oh, that's when they doing the full movie jump.
No,
I think
it was very real.
The Apple jump
and them boxing joints where they be boxing. They be falling through the TVs.
I seen this cartoon. They had the headset on, but the person who made it she was a villain. She had like this little shot thing in there that like went into your brain while you was watching the thing. I was like, yeah, that would be pretty scary.
Yeah, I think that it does allow, and that's where when I was saying like I think they'll fuck around and just sell it to technology. Mm-hmm. Where with like the Apple shit, and it's only going to become more and more sleek and sleeker and sleeker and sleeker until where it's going to end up just being like
Black Mirror, where you just put that thing on the side of your
head.
Yeah,
it'll end up eventually getting to that, and I think that they're going to sell us convenience because of what the Apple VR thing is going to do, and it kind of blends with like what Meta was trying, like the metaverse and all that shit. It's just pure augmented reality. So like all it is like you're putting a screen over you, and then you're still looking at the real world. But now you can manipulate different things different ways. So yeah.
Give me the scanner from Dragon Ball Z. That's all I want.
Facts. Now that's a fact.
Like they ain't made that shit.
Trying to see a nigga power level.
Yeah, let's see a power level.
All right, is this a good rapping point?
Yeah, let's
All right, well, fellas, this was Effort Would Do It Live. I think we went into some really interesting tangents today.
We did.
We got in some good spaces, I think. Yeah. We learned that slavery was beneficial.
Thanks, America.
Right. We learned that every nigga stonewalls.
Get some fake America shirts.
Hey, well, I'll say that later. But yeah.
Hey, that sounds like a good shirt, though. Thanks, America.
Thanks, America.
You were always great.
You never stopped being great.
We learned the big problem with Lizzo. Is that how you say the tone?
Oh,
the biggest victim. That nigga went crazy.
Oh no, I said she was the biggest.
The biggest victim.
All right, let's get up out of here. It's Q.
It's your boy Johnny P.
Oh, here, real.
And we out. Effort Would Do It Live.